Yo, what's up, everybody? You already know what it is. It's your boy Reggie Red, and this is Reggie Red's Reactions, where I react to viral videos, political videos, news, Trump, all the bullshit that they doing, and we get it in on this channel. Today we're gonna be talking about this YouTuber that's on here. His name is Tyler Cohen. And he went on, I guess you can say it's the opposite side news channel. And he had a little debate. And it got pretty wild. Cause he made the other dude up and quit. And if you like this video by the end, make sure you like, subscribe, and share with your friends. And make sure you hit them alert bells too, so you know when I'm dropping my next video. Let's jump into it.
Idea that the government is too big, that there's too much spending. I mean, it is, Mick, it's your party. It's Donald Trump that is adding trillions and trillions and trillions to the debt because they want to give themselves tax cut. Donald Trump added
tax cuts for the rich. Yeah. We've had this conversation. All right.
We've had this conversation because it's the reality of the situation. I mean, the Republicans just passed a budget bill that would add $4 trillion to the debt.
$4 trillion.
So
I get it. Okay.
I mean, you can scoff it off, but it doesn't change the math.
Mick,
it doesn't. But it doesn't move us where we are. Who's going to give up in this? The Democrats are going to give up because they're asking for something.
Well, I mean, don't change the subject. I mean, you brought up the fact that the government was too big, and so I said the government is too big because Republicans are spending too much, and you switched topics. So is it not the Republican Party that's added a quarter of all debt in Trump's first term, and that added $4 trillion because of this budget?
Mick, I'll give you the response.
Okay. No, I'm not going to talk about COVID and the bipartisan bills that passed. Look, if we want to talk about the government shutdown, we can, but I'm not going to debate a podcaster. So
okay,
you're not going to debate when I give you the numbers, and I mean it looks worse on you than it does on me because I give you the numbers right there, and you just don't want to answer the question.
Well, here's the problem. I see both sides not even agreeing on some of the facts here. You know, Trump says Democrats want to give health care to illegal immigrants. You have Democrats who say this is about Medicare and Obamacare. If it's not even agreement there, that's where the hesitation I have is. That's where I'm concerned that we're going to even see anything.
Mick, would you agree that not a single dime of ACA subsidies goes toward undocumented immigrants?
Would you agree with me that what the big,
please answer the question. It's not that hard to just answer the question.
Wait a second. Again, listen, we don't do this on this show. I don't know if you've ever been on here before, but we don't talk over. We're not here to yell at each other. I'm not going to do this anymore, Jesse.
Okay.
So,
all right.
There you go. That's the answer right there.
No,
can't even acknowledge objective reality.
Brian, Mick responded, Brian responded. Okay, we're going to leave it here. Appreciate you both.
That was me with Donald Trump's former Office of Management and Budget Director, Mick Mulvaney, who opted to end our debate rather than answer the simple question, do you agree that not a single dime of ACA subsidies goes to undocumented immigrants in light of this shutdown fight? And of course, the reason that Mulvaney won't answer that question is because he knows it's true, and admitting as much would undermine the talking points being trotted out by Trump and his mouthpieces.
But they want to have illegal aliens come into our country and get massive health care at the cost to everybody else, and we don't have it. And that's I would say, the number one reason that they want to strike is to get illegal immigrants health care. And, you know, Gavin Newsom wants that, too, in California, and it's destroying California. We can't have that. We're not going to let it happen.
But if you look at the original thing they did with this negotiation, it was a $1.5 trillion spending package, basically saying to the American people, we want to give massive amounts of money, hundreds of billions of dollars to illegal aliens for their health care while Americans are struggling to pay their health care bills. That was their initial foray into this negotiation. We thought it was absurd. We told them it was absurd. And now they come in here saying that if you don't give us everything that we want, we're going to shut down the government. We think that's preposterous. We think it's totally unacceptable, and we think the American people are going to suffer because these guys won't do the right thing.
Stephen Miller joined in, writing, Democrats shut down the government to demand free health care for illegals. So now that the marching orders are out, the lemmings are dutifully regurgitating the same talking points. Only, small problem, it is a complete fabrication, straight bullshit. In reality, as I mentioned on air, no federal funds go to healthcare in this country for undocumented immigrants. And don't take my word for it. Go to healthcare.gov's own website, run by the Trump administration, which says, quote, People in these groups can get coverage through the marketplace if they're eligible. United States citizens, U.S. nationals, lawfully present immigrants, undocumented immigrants can't get marketplace health coverage. And yet, that hasn't stopped a single one of these shameless Republicans from repeating the claim anyway. Why? Because Trump said it, and God forbid you defy the edicts of Dear Leader. They would rather end interviews on air, run away, whine that they wouldn't stoop to the level of engaging with a mere podcaster, than dare acknowledge objective reality in defiance of Donald Trump. Anything to stay in the good graces of the God King. And yet, while it won't have an impact on healthcare for undocumented immigrants, it will have an impact on Americans' healthcare, namely the healthcare of 24 million Americans who will see premiums rise as much as 100% starting in 2026. So if you get your health coverage on the ACA marketplace like I do, expect your healthcare to be on average 75% higher come next year. Many people will lose healthcare entirely because it'll become unaffordable. That is the actual consequence of Republicans' actions. They refuse to extend the already existing subsidies. It's not like Democrats are asking for more than they had before. They just want to continue the existing subsidies. And as a result of that, millions more Americans will suffer beyond just the 17 million Americans who are already going to lose Medicaid at the hands of this Republican Party. But Republicans can't come out and admit that because that would be far too unpopular, and so instead, they had to make it into a culture war. It's not the Republicans who want to just blindly rip away healthcare, it's those dangerous illegal immigrants who want to take it from you, and so we, the Republicans, are actually here to protect you from being ripped off by them. See, now it's not rich Republicans against working class Americans, now it's working class Americans versus working class brown people. That is where the GOP is far more comfortable. They just need to pit poor people against other poor people in hopes that nobody realizes that the rich people are fucking everyone over. Granted, there's one more Hail Mary that Republicans are trying to throw here, this idea that if Democrats simply sign onto a CR, a continuing resolution, to fund the government, then afterwards, they'll definitely re-engage with the Democrats to extend those ACA subsidies, just like the left is asking for.
Are you going to support one initiative or one group at the expense of the other? You talk about healthcare. This is something Mike Johnson says, well, what about FEMA? What about the CDC that's affected? Why not agree to a continuing resolution for immediate funding? You negotiate Obamacare, the tax credits at a later date. If you think about what the cost is going to be at this point, why not more Democrats sign on to the two that already went across the aisle?
Because they know Republicans won't negotiate those things. This is the same Republican Party that just cut $1 trillion in healthcare from Americans. Do we really think that these are the people that are going to come down and sit at the negotiating table to make sure that we can restore these ACA subsidies? This is the same Republican Party that just cut Medicaid from 17 million Americans and food assistance to the tune of $350 billion. Those are the people that we're going to trust when they say, don't worry, just sign on to this continuing resolution and we'll definitely get onto the negotiating table to make sure that Americans get healthcare. These people have shown you who they are. At this point, we have to believe them. Look, I am under no illusions that Democrats have a really, really big and long-standing problem falling for bad faith promises by Republicans, but I will be damned if we're going to sit here and pretend for a single second that the same people who've dedicated this entire Congress to gutting as much healthcare as humanly possible are going to then voluntarily re-engage with Democrats on ACA subsidies, but only after they've given up the only leverage they have. I'm sorry, but give me a fucking break. This, right now, is the time to fight this fight because now is the only time that Democrats, who are in the minority everywhere, have any leverage whatsoever. And look, I understand that shutdowns are painful. 4 million people, including 1.3 million active duty military, are not receiving pay. People will be furloughed and fired. Delays will mount in airports. Home loans and small business loans are going to be paused. But remember that Republicans control the entire government, and they can put an end to this in a heartbeat. If only they can manage to bring themselves not to also rip healthcare away from another 24 million Americans. I understand that gutting healthcare is essentially their favorite pastime at this point, but there is not a single person in this country outside of this collection of ghouls in Washington, D.C. who is rooting for healthcare to double in price in America. And if the Democrats can hold out to help millions of those Americans, then that's what they should do. Again, this could all end right now. It just requires Republicans doing the unthinkable and not taking an axe to healthcare of millions of Americans, which, knowing this Republican Party, might just be a bridge too far.
Go ahead, go ahead and shut this motherfucker down. Just shut it down. Because for one, Trump is going to do whatever he want to do. So if he threatened on firing people, he was doing that already. If he threatened to cut social programs, he was doing that already. From FEMA to withholding funds from states. He was doing all this already, so we ain't got nothing to lose. So let's do it. And they trying to name it the Schumer shutdown. Nah, bro. This is Trump's shutdown. And the sycophant of a party he has. Fucking retarded ass people. Like Brian just said, they done showed us who they are plenty of times. Sooner or later, it starts to be our fault that we don't believe how shitty these people are. How shitty these people are. It becomes our fault after a while. Fool me once type shit. But yeah, I'm glad they shutting it down. Democrats need a win, man. Because I ain't like I'm with the Democrat Party or the Republican Party. None of that. I'm independent. But Democrats need to take back this White House, the House, and the Senate. They have to. Because I don't see this country lasting that much longer. I really don't. See, people need to realize how serious this time is right now. This shit is unprecedented. It really is. Trump about to turn this motherfucker into a third world country. And then they taking away trillions off the healthcare, billions off the healthcare, but then they just gave Argentina $20 billion. And for what? For fucking what? When we have homeless vets that need taken care of, we got our prices, grocery prices are out of control. Like for 3 bags of groceries, you spending well over $150. Gas prices ain't at no $2, which is another lie. They don't think people don't go to the store and actually see the prices that they're paying. It's like they don't get that or something. And I know Trump don't. That's why I don't understand poor white people. Because Trump, he don't know. They try to say that Trump relates to the working class. Bro, this man was born with a platinum spoon in his mouth. He don't know what the fuck goes on down here in the dirt poor. He don't know. He don't know. He don't know having to eat noodles and peanut butter and jelly and shit because motherfuckers ain't got no money. Eating pork and beans and hot dogs. He don't know none of that shit. He thought grocery was a new made up term. Or he thought he made it up. Like, he can get the fuck out of here, man. This dude ain't shit. He ain't gonna never be shit. But yeah, man. That's all I wanted to show y'all right now. But I will be back later with some more videos. Drop a comment. Let me know what y'all think. I'll be back later. Peace.